What's causing Michael to go from this to this? Find out next on True Yet Untrue Tales. But before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay, let's get on with the show. In the late 1990s, a successful businessman named Michael was on a high-stakes trip to a bustling city in Southeast Asia. He was there to finalize a massive deal, and on his final night in town, he decided to celebrate at a high-end hotel bar. While he was sitting there, a stunningly beautiful woman approached him and struck up a conversation. She was charming, sophisticated, and Michael was immediately captivated by her. They spent the next few hours talking and laughing, and Michael felt a magnetic chemistry that he hadn't experienced in years. Eventually, she suggested they have one last drink back in his suite. Michael, feeling like he was on top of the world, didn't hesitate. But as they walked into his room and she handed him a freshly poured glass of scotch, things began to get very fuzzy. Within minutes of taking just a few sips, Michael's vision blurred. His head felt like it was filled with lead, and he collapsed onto the floor. Hours later, Michael began to regain consciousness, but he was in a state of total confusion. He wasn't in his bed. He was lying in the bathtub, and he was absolutely freezing. As his eyes struggled to focus, he realized the tub was filled to the brim with bags of ice. His body was so numb he could barely move, but then he noticed a cell phone sitting on the lid of the toilet right next to him. Next to the phone was a small, handwritten note that simply said, "Call 911 immediately. Do not try to stand up." Michael, trembling with fear and cold, grabbed the phone and dialed for help. When the operator answered, he could barely get the words out, explaining where he was and what had happened. While he waited for the paramedics, Michael reached down to feel his side because he noticed a sharp, throbbing pain in his lower back. His hand brushed against a thick, crude bandage taped over his skin. When the medical team finally burst into the room and pulled him out of the ice, they discovered a neat, surgical incision right where his kidney used to be. Michael had been targeted by a professional organ trafficking ring. They had drugged him, surgically removed his kidney to sell on the black market, and left him in the ice to keep his body from going into shock before help arrived.